Hey everybody, all right, let's get it. This video is meant to tell the story, okay? It's a teachable moment, and I know other single moms can relate to one of these. I have about 5 that I've thought about, but really it's a teachable moment to tell our story, to tell my story. These have all happened to me, and I wanted to get it out just because I wanted to get it out, okay? It was on my heart. So the first moment of weakness for a single mother that I can think about is a time when I was sick. It happened, she was about 2, she was around 2 years old, and I woke up and I absolutely could not get out of bed. I think I had the flu maybe, and I was so weak, I was so sick, I couldn't get up and even get her breakfast, okay? Luckily, her godmom was able to come and take her for the day so that I could get some rest, but it was so bad. And I myself have this thing that I have that I need to overcome, that I don't really like asking for help like that. And I know a lot of single parents can relate to that because you feel like you're a burden, or you don't want to impose or be judged or what have you. But it was so bad I didn't have a choice, because otherwise she would have been neglected all day, and that would have been really bad too. The next moment of weakness as a single mom is when your toddler is a toddler. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. It's when your toddler has reached the developmental point where they scream uncontrollably. You can't stop it. You can't rationalize. You're at your wit's end. You're possibly in the morning trying to get ready to go to work, and they are just sitting there screaming, okay? I have found myself in that place a lot during her 3-year-old year. Now that's another thing. Everybody tells you about terrible twos. The twos are cake. Them threes, them treacherous threes. Listen, if you've never heard that, hear it here. Them threes are real. When they're screaming uncontrollably because you have no one else there, you have no other person's energy to help balance what they're feeling. You don't have somebody else there to calm you down. You don't have somebody else there to strategize with how we're going to deal with this, what is going to happen. And so it all falls on you. And there really is only so much a human being can take. I mean, you're already stressed, you're in a rush, you're trying to get them ready, you're trying to get you ready. It's a lot of pressure. So that's definitely been one of the moments of weakness for me. All right, this next one hit me every single winter really, for the first 3 years of her life, and having to get her covered, get me dressed, driving to the ER in the middle of the night. I'm talking about 1 a.m., 2 a.m., having to lug her to the car, get her in the car, get in the car, figure out who's open at that time, where you can go, and hauling it to the ER because your baby is having issues breathing, it's not sounding right, they're in pain, they're screaming. Like I said, this happened every single year for her first 3 years. And finally, this is a note, finally I ended up getting her own nebulizer machine, and it would always be the tubes, the developing tubes. Don't know if it was allergies, don't really know what it is, but we ended up with our own nebulizer machine and solution. I know one year she got a lot of prescriptions for steroids, liquid steroids mixed with something else, I forgot. But if this is happening to you, find out. But having to do that in the middle of the night, scared by yourself, you're scared, number one, because your child is suffering, you can't fix it, you don't really know what's going on, so you're freaked out about that. Then you're having to mob through the streets in the middle of the night. I remember one time it happened, it was kind of early, it was around 10 p.m. but I was trying to catch an urgent care, and so I had to haul it to the other side of the city, okay? At 10 p.m., mad lights, she's in pain. I can hear her trying to breathe. It was listen, if you don't, the levels of strength come from wherever. They come from God, okay? To get through that, because all they have is you. That's all they have. And all you have is God. So, like I said, that we've probably had to do that 6 to 7 times. This next one is obvious, the financial aspect of it. I call it, is it pull-ups or dinner, right? Because these pull-ups, okay, they charge on these pull-ups. Pull-ups hit you about $35 for a box of 2 packs. You figure you're living on one income to support 2 people. And it's a real situation. Regardless of what your salary is, the bills are always going to be there. You can have minimal bills. They're still going to be there. Your child's still going to be there. You still have to feed your child. Your child has to go to daycare. You have to clothe your child. You have to clothe yourself, feed yourself. I mean, it's the reality of it. But when you have to make decisions of what to sacrifice financially, that is a real, and can be a real moment of weakness, because sometimes you don't feel like you're ever going to make it out. You feel like you're ever going to have enough. You're always going to have to sacrifice. And I got to a point where I just realized I just can't buy no new clothes. Like, new clothes are not a thing for me anymore. Don't know when. And honestly, I don't know when I'll have the need for new clothes. We ain't going nowhere. You know, so I'm okay with that. But as long as my child is dressed, and a lot of single moms, we sacrifice a lot of things. I mean, I don't know how long it took me to go to a spa, or feel it was okay to have silent time or quiet time, or buy me something. That was the first time I bought me something. She was walking. She was well into walking, basically running. But the sacrifice, the balance of how to juggle these finances that you may or may not have, and feeling like you're always going to be here, you're not always going to be there. But that is a real thing. And the last one, to me, is the most heavy hitting. And in my situation, it's the most heavy hitting because I did everything. I'm talking about everything in me I tried to do to not make it happen. And that is becoming a single mom. So when your child asks you, do I have a daddy? Or where is daddy? Can I go see daddy? That is a very true moment of weakness for you as a mom, because most moms did what they could to keep the father in their child's life. And I'm not gonna say most moms. I don't know everybody's story. My story, I did. And so when it comes up, the pain it's inevitable. I mean, and it's so deep cutting because it's so multi-layered, and then you're trying to figure out a way of how to explain this to a 4-year-old brain. No matter how genius that 4-year-old is, you still have to find a narrative and a proper way to explain it, that you're not imposing your experience of their father on them. You're not imposing your opinion of their father on them. You're not really shaping their view of their father on them, because at some point they're going to reach an age where they're able to, really tap in and try to find them. It's just an innate feeling, and I encourage that. I tell mine, when you get older, I don't have a problem doing that. But the answer that I ended up giving her was, I had to be honest, and I had to just say, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable going there. And for my situation, it makes sense. I sought counsel. I mean, I talked to family members and other women who have been single mothers and have raised, great children. And I had to seek counsel from them to figure out, what do I say? How do I say this? I knew there were some things that I definitely did not want to do, and that one of them was imposing my thoughts, experience, and opinion on to my daughter, because that's not fair, and I don't think any parent should do that. But it is definitely a moment or moments where you're put in a place where you're stuck. Many times after that conversation was had, many breakdowns in the kitchen, many breakdowns in the bathroom, because it hurts. Like I said, you did everything physically, mentally possible to make it work for that child, and it just does not, for multiple reasons. But that is definitely, for me, the most heavy-hitting moment of weakness of single motherhood. I hope these serve to educate people. Our moments of weakness, to help change the stigma that is on us in the society, that we are, you know, just ratchet individuals popping babies out, living on welfare, this, that, and the third. That's not the case, to be very honest. It's very far from it, and that's again why I think I have been led to start this channel, because I accept being a current voice for single moms, educating people, letting people know what the deal is, that, you know, we're far from what you have seen in the media. Some of us are, not gonna lie, but a lot of us are not. And so my goal is to share our story and our narrative with people so that they can become educated, and the stigma and the outview of us will change. Hope you were informed, and if you are a fellow single mom, let me know which one of these you have experienced, how you've handled them, and I hope everybody is happy, well, and blessed. I'll see you on the next one.